This is a low impact, low intensity workout for your luteal phase, particularly the late luteal phase, so that 3 to 5 days before your next period starts. This, I know I say it a lot, but this one is one of my new favorites, mostly because I am in the late luteal phase and wasn't really feeling the workout today. So I didn't really want to pick up the weights. I didn't have kind of high energy levels to support the intensity that might have served me earlier in the cycle. But I knew I was feeling that restless sensation that can sometimes come in the luteal phase, and I knew I needed to move my body. This one was just right. It's kind of that Goldilocks workout where it was enough effort to move energy through the body to clear anything that was feeling stuck, but without overtaxing the system. So not moving into high intensity, not moving into that breathless working zone, but instead keeping it steady, keeping it low intensity, low impact, something that is very accessible, very sustainable for this time in the cycle. So I know it happens all too often that when you're not feeling energized, maybe you're experiencing that late cycle insomnia, not feeling fully resourced, it can be too easy to just drop your workout off the list. And by all means, rest can be the best medicine during this time. However, if you're someone like me and you know that you will feel better after even just a little bit of movement, know that a little bit of something can improve your mood. It can improve the way that you feel. So in this workout, we're using body weight movement patterns. We're creating that slow but fluid pace to help you move and get unstuck, to help you feel better, get that elevated mood for this time in the cycle. It's a quick 24 minutes, not a long workout at all, but we have 8 movement patterns that we're completing in 3 rounds. Each movement will be 45 seconds of work or effort, and then just 15 seconds of transition. So it's really more of a continuous effort throughout. It's kind of that low intensity, steady state work. So we have the bodyweight movement patterns that I will go over in a tutorial before the workout portion of the video begins. So please tune into that just to kind of try out the movements so that you have the rhythm and the pattern before the timer starts, so that you're not having to fuss with the cognitive effort of figuring it out as you go. Not a lot of modification in this workout because it is low impact from the outset, low intensity from the outset. There's not a warm up or a cool down for that reason as well. It's very gentle. It kind of builds slowly and then comes back down kind of in a natural rhythm. So I will start with the tutorial. Grab your water and a towel and let's get started. Before we jump into today's workout, I'll go through the 8 exercises that we will be using so that you can have the patterns in your body, and when the timer starts, you can just drop in to the workout and get ready to move. For today, we have 8 movements that we're doing in 45-second intervals with 15 seconds of work. We're completing this 3 times for a low-impact cardiovascular workout that will help keep your body moving during the days leading up to your period. Our first movement pattern, we're starting at the top of your mat. Feet can be about hips width distance apart, so pretty wide to create some space in the hips. We're stepping back into a reverse lunge with the arms overhead. Both times, both sides. And then we come through center and deep squat with the arms overhead. So it's kind of like sitting back into a chair. So again, reverse lunge, arms up, reverse lunge, knee hovers, and then squat. That's our first movement pattern. Our second movement pattern is a tabletop shoulder tap. So tabletop and then let the knees hover. So it's more like a bear crawl. And we'll tap the shoulders, step your feet out, side plank, open, side plank, open, and then step the knees back into hover, tap the shoulders, and back. Step it out, open to side plank, through center, and to side plank. Back in and tap. And that's our second movement pattern. Third movement pattern is a plie squat with a calf raise. So we'll start with the heels together. In this movement, you should really draw the inner thighs to the midline so you'll feel your glutes and inner thighs activate. And then we'll step out, take the arms nice and wide into a plie squat, come through center, tiny lift with the arms as the heels lift, calf raise. Out to center, squeeze the legs together, tiny lift with the arms and a calf raise. So we're coming out, in, calf raise. Really squeeze and feel the activation in the inner thighs. Next movement pattern is a curtsy lunge with a lateral lunge. So we'll start with one side in the curtsy. You take the arms overhead, curtsy lunge so that knee is nice and close to the ankle, squeezing to the midline. Then we'll take that back leg out and wide, reach the arms out to T like a reverse fly. So we're in our lateral lunge. And then to exchange, we simply come to the other side and back to the curtsy. So over to the other side. Take it wide, exchange, and switch. Curtsy, lateral lunge, other side, and back. So this one kind of just following the rhythm of your body. So keeping that momentum moving in both directions to switch sides. Our next pattern, we're starting on one side of the mat. We'll get low into a squat. We'll step wide, 1, 2, tap the floor, tap the ceiling. Come back. To step it wide, 1, 2, stay nice and low, tap the floor, tap the ceiling. So moving back and forward. Key there is stay nice and low and really reach. Take up some space as you move the arms up and down. Then we're coming into our plank launch to an air squat. So you're going to start in plank, and then the launch part is where you create a spring with your legs. So lift your heels, bend your knees, bring your hips toward your heels, create some buoyancy there, and then step right foot, then left foot, keep the heart elevated. You can bring your hands to center or reach them overhead. Lift up, come onto the toes. Step back down. So the same foot that's leading, step that back, plank launcher, and then switch sides. So left foot, right foot, squat, lift up, come back down, left foot, right foot, switch sides, and lift. So any arrangement with the arms, you might like to keep them with your hands to your heart, maybe at your hips, or you can reach them all the way up and overhead. Our next movement is a step out squat with a side kick. So we're changing sides with each rep. So to begin, you'll step a foot out and then together, side kick, step out to the other side, together, side kick. So with the side kick, getting that leg to the horizontal plane, keep the toes facing out away from you. So the shoelace side of the foot faces out and get that hip rotation. Step out, together, side kick. You can add some arms if you like. Really draw them down to create that force. As you kick, be mindful that you're not snapping the knee joint. So really engage the muscles of the leg to support the extension so that you're not locking the joint as you kick out. So alternating sides there with our side kick. And then our final movement pattern, we're coming into a straight leg toe touch. So you'll lower onto the back, reach the arms overhead, lift up, touch hand to opposite toes, come back down, hand to opposite toes, and then straight leg sit up. So bring your body into the shape of an L and come back down. If that's too much, you can always take elbow to opposite knee and switch, elbow to opposite knee and switch. You can do bent knee, sit up, if that works better in your low back and low belly. So those are our 8 movement patterns, low impact, just to keep your body moving, but you will find that you get the elevated heart rate, you get all the benefits without the impact on the joints. So we'll get started with our workout now. We will start our workout in about 20 seconds. Again, we have 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, 8 exercises that we're completing in 3 rounds. In about 10 seconds, we'll start with our first exercise. So we're beginning at the top of the mat, 2 reverse lunges, and then a squat. So we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So lunge back, reach the arms, other side, and to center, squat. So here, you're taking up space, you're using power movement, but it's low impact. So connecting with breath, letting the muscles drive the movement up and back, and then down and up. So in the luteal phase, This is something of a deload day, an active rest day. So we're not looking for max intensity here, but we are wanting to move the body. We're wanting to kind of unstick any of that energy that needs to move to help you feeling your best, especially in the last few days of the cycle, and rest. Coming next into our table, bear crawl shoulder tap with a side plank. So begin in your bear crawl stance, hover the knees. Let's begin in 2, 1, coil the belly, tap shoulder, step the feet out wide, rotate open, side plank to the other side, side plank, step it in, tap, tap, out, and open. Keep the hips nice and low, that integration in the low belly, stretching forward with the heart. So long spine, and open. Tap, tap, step back, and open. So this is that time in the cycle where you might be feeling a little bit of a dip in energy levels. So let the pace mirror your physiology. And rest, come up. So what that means is maybe you're moving very slowly. Maybe you're picking up the pace just to get that elevated heart rate. Wherever you need to be in this practice, let that be the effort. We're coming into our plie squat in 3, 2, 1. Step it wide, arms out wide, heels together. Tiny lift with the arms as the heels lift, calf raise. Out and up through center. Feel the inner thighs, the glutes as you squeeze the legs together, the heels together in the center. Really focusing on mind-muscle connection. So in the absence of weights, we have this opportunity to create the muscle contraction on our own. So here, can you create that key action of squeezing the thighs to the midline? To activate the glutes, activate the inner thighs. Last 3, 2, and 1. Rest for 15 seconds. We're coming into our alternating curtsy lunge with a lateral lunge. So we start with the curtsy, lateral lunge on each side, and then switch sides for a curtsy lunge. Taking the arms overhead for that curtsy lunge, and let's begin. Knees stay nice and close together. Come out wide, arms to a T, switch sides, and back, curtsy lunge. Take it out wide like that reverse fly. Both sides, lateral lunge, and then switch. So lateral lunge, and switch. Take it out nice and wide, take up space. Love these body weight workouts for really just allowing the whole body to participate. So it's a way to engage in kind of lower intensity, steady state cardiovascular work. And rest. Our next movement, we'll start on one side of the mat, get nice and low for that side step with a tap and reach. Going in 3, 2, 1, get low, step it out. 1, 2, touch the ground, reach up to the toes. Come out, step it to the side, touch the ground, and up. Stay nice and low. Feel the legs working. Just support that squat. And again, this need not be your max effort. It need not be kind of that quick hit style. It can be slow. It can be focused. Let it be meditative. So as you move, find the rhythmic pattern in your breath. And let that drop you into presence so that you can listen for anything rest needing your attention. You can listen for whatever arises. Coming into our plank launch to a squat. So coming down into plank, stretch the spine, low ribs and hip points together. Bend the knees, hips to heels, step right foot, then left foot, squat. Reach up to toes and back down. Right foot, left foot, launch, and then switch sides. Left foot, right foot. Squat to the toes. Come back, left foot, right foot. Launch to the right side now. So find that rhythm that fluid pace, mapping the movement onto your breath. So acknowledging when you need to slow it down or when you might like to pick up the pace. A lot of times in the luteal phase, rest, you might be resistant to movement because there's a bit of kind of inertia that's keeping you feeling heavy or low energy. Sometimes all it takes is that movement to get started. We're coming to our step out side kick. Here we go. Step out, together, side kick, to the other side, out, together, side kick. You can pick up the pace as you get that movement down. Being mindful of your balance, finding a non-moving point to focus upon to stabilize the body throughout. So in this phase, I know for myself, sometimes it's all too easy just to skip the practice. And rest, by all means, so beneficial in this stage of the cycle. However, sometimes if you just get your body moving, you'll feel better at the end. Rest. And it need not be a lot. Again, it doesn't have to be that overwhelming intensity that kind of can be a bit intimidating in these last few days of the cycle. Come down onto your back. It can be sustainable. And toe touch. Here we go. Toe touch and toe touch. Straight leg sit up. Come to the shape of an L. Alternate. Toe touch. Toe touch. L shape sit up, straight legs, if you can. Again, always the option to take knee to opposite elbow and reach up. Breathe here. So this one in the supine position, good opportunity to slow the breath, focus on the core activation. Last 3, 2, 1. And that is our first round. Just like that, it's done. We're coming back to that double reverse lunge with a squat in between. Come to the top of your mat. We'll move in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it back, together, and squat. So be intentional with your movement. Let it be organized, focused, controlled. You can move at your own pace with your breath. Can you focus on the key action? So as you squat down, root through the heels to drive up. Let the back knee hover in those lunges. Spread your toes to maintain balance. Last few reps here. 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Coming into table shoulder taps with the side plank. So as you're ready, coming down into your bear crawl stance, hover the knees off the mat, coil through the belly. Let's go in 2, 1. Tap the shoulders, step the feet out, plank, open to the side. One side, and then the other. Stack the shoulders, stack the hips. Step the feet in, knees directly under the hips. Tap shoulders, walk it out, open, open. Use this opportunity to realign the breath. In and out through the nose where you can to keep this low intensity. So notice if maybe that means slowing the pace just a touch so you can keep that steady breath in and out through the nose. And rest. Come out, shake it out. Our next movement, that plie squat with the calf raise in the middle, adding the arms to create that fluidity. Stepping the feet together, toes turn out, heels in. Let's begin. Step it wide. Come together, tiny lift, and back down. Step it wide, together, tiny lift, and back down. Take up space as you step out wide, and then pull to the center as you come together. Breathing here. Feel those legs working, the inner thighs really pulling to the center to create that magnetic field. The spine stays long and strong, so crown to tail, move as a unit as you switch side to side. Not leaning forward or back. 3, 2, and 1. Rest for 15 seconds, just enough to set up for the next movement, which is our curtsy lunge with a lateral lunge. So getting ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Curtsy lunge, arms come overhead. Lateral lunge, arms come out to T. Switch sides and to the other side. Curtsy, arms reach up. Lateral lunge, switch, and take it to the other side. So feeling that natural momentum where your body wants to go. Lateral lunge, switch, and curtsy to the center. Creating some fluidity, some space in the hips. So as you come into the lateral lunge, you can dip the heart forward, so creating a bit of a hip hinge. Or you might like to keep the spine upright. Different intention, different sensation. And rest. Coming now into our low side step with a reach. So starting on one side of your mat, getting ready to squat low. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Squat down, step it out. 1, 2, tap, and reach. If you have more space, you can take more steps between sides. Maybe you step 4 or 5 times. If you're limited, just twice. Lift and reach. And breathe. Step out, out, and reach. You might start to feel a bit of heat in the legs. And reach. Spreading the toes to lift onto the balls of the feet as you press up. Creating a bit of power there. And rest. Find your plank pose, your plank position, coming into a launch, stepping forward into the squat. So plank here, we'll go in 3, 2, 1. Launch, take the hips low and back. Step a foot forward to squat. Lift up to the toes and back down. Back to plank, launch. Step forward, squat. Reach up and back. Alternating sides if you can. So find that unsupported squat at the bottom and then release the hands to launch back. Reach up and back. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling some heat, some communication from the legs here. Last one, reach and rest. Stepping up, shaking it out. Coming into our side step. Step out squat with side kick. As you're ready, 3, 2, 1. Step it out, together, side kick. Out, together, other side. Out, together, kick. Can also be just a leg lift. If the kick is too much, it can just be a lateral leg lift. So find what works for you. If you find that your balance maybe is a bit shaky, which can happen in the luteal phase with progesterone at its highest point and then dropping down, sometimes you might find proprioception and balance to be a bit of a challenge. So again, leg lift. Doesn't have to be the full side kick. Last one. And rest. 15 seconds here. Coming down onto the back for that toe touch and sit up. We'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift it up. Tap. And other side. Tap. Come through center. Find that L shape. Keep your heels grounded if you can. So as you come up into that straight leg sit up, focus on the low belly. Don't let the legs pop up. Tap, tap. Come through center. and release. Alternate sides, tap, tap, and come through center. Last 10 seconds here. And then we're in our third and final round, just like that. 24 minutes of a solid effort, but one that mirrors your physiology. Rest. Come back up, getting ready for our step back lunge with a squat in between. So these workouts, the goal is to stir up that energy so that you can unlock some of that to use during your luteal phase. Let's go. Step it back, together, back, and squat. Step it back. Sometimes we just need that little bit of a spark to fuel us for the rest of the day. So if you can get yourself motivated just to move slowly, just to move at all, that can be the game changer. And even though sweating happens later, you have to get hotter before you start to sweat in the luteal phase. I'm feeling a bit of that glow, a bit of the endorphin supply here, and rest. Coming into bear crawl next, shoulder taps with side plank. We'll go in 10. Come down, hover the knees. 3, 2, and 1. Tap it out. Step it back, open to side plank, stack shoulders, stack hips. Other side. Let there be no rush. Find your alignment. So really finish out the range of motion. Don't be tempted to cut it short for the sake of speed. Let yourself slow down so that you can experience the full spectrum of each movement. Bear crawl, knees hover, feel the belly. Bear crawls are my new favorite core exercise. Doesn't really matter how I incorporate them. I tend to feel a bit of sensation for the rest of the day. It's a good reminder. And rest to keep the core engaged. And it doesn't have the same strain sometimes that plank work can in the low back. Next one, plie squats with that calf raise in the center. Bring your feet together, toes wide, heels in, and let's begin. Step it out, in, lift, and back down. Step it out, together, lift, and back down. Up and lower. Feel the legs. Squeeze them to the midline to create that little extra something in the muscle contraction, so that you're not checking out during any part of the movement, but you're focused. There's concentration. It's a great way to help with any brain fog that might be showing up for you in the premenstrual days. Sometimes a little focus, a little concentration, rest does the trick. It helps get your mind a little bit more clear, a little bit more focused and centered. Coming into our curtsy lunge next. In 3, 2, 1, step it back, curtsy, lateral lunge, arms to T. I'm doing the hip hinge here, so the chest floats forward. Head to tail, moving as a unit. Come back, curtsy, lateral lunge, and exchange. So feel here the transfer of weight from one side to the other. How is your body weight being supported between the feet, between the legs? How can you create different sensation depending on the position of the torso? 3, 2, and 1. Rest, shake it out. Come to one side of your mat. We have our side steps with a reach. So get ready to go in 5 seconds here. Squat nice and low. 3, 2, 1. Let's move side to side. Touch down, reach up. Step it out, together, down and up. Breathe here. Can you stay in and out through the nose? That mindful effort. Sometimes it takes more mental energy to dial it back than it does to push hard, especially if you're someone who habitually overrides the signals from the body. It can take work to slow it down, to really focus and let your body move in that fluid state and rest. Coming to our plank launch, to a squat, and lift to toes. So get ready, lower into your plank position. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, hips to heels. Step a foot forward. Squat, reach up to toes. Step it back, launch, and forward. Squat to toes. You got this. We're almost to the end of this workout. Feeling the movement and the sweat. Take what you need from these last 2 minutes of work. Whether that's slowing down to make this your cool down, or finishing strong to pick up the pace. Let it be your own. And rest. Coming to our side step with either a lateral raise or a side kick all the way. Get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Step it out, together, side kick. Out, together, side kick. Again, the arms can be wherever they need to for your balance. Maybe they're on the hips. Maybe they're at the heart. Maybe they're moving with you. Try a few different arrangements and see what feels most natural and most balancing for you. So upper body moves as a unit. Head to tail, tips away to counterbalance that side kick. So you're kicking out and leaning away. Last one, and rest. Coming into our very final movement of this workout. Lower onto your back. We'll go in 10 for toe touch and straight leg sit up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's lift it up. Tap and back. Tap and back. Keep your heart stretching skyward with each lift. Try not to round in the upper back, but keep the chest broad and open. That can help your breath stay nice and deep. And sit up. Last 20 seconds. And sit up. Tap, tap, and straight leg sit up. Keep the heels heavy. Last 3 seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Reach out, stretch out, arms overhead. Bend your knees. As long as your heart rate is kind of in that elevated but manageable place, you can start to cool just a little bit. Rock your knees side to side. So there's not a proper cool down with this workout because it is low intensity, because it is low impact. So we're not having to drop and guide the body back down from high intensity. But just enjoy a bit of movement here. Cross your right ankle over left knee. Hug the figure 4 shape into your body. Gently rock side to side. Maybe reach through for the back of your left thigh. And just take these few moments in static stretching to notice if anything has changed for you. If you've created that state shift, maybe your mood has changed. Switch sides, cross left ankle over right knee. Gently rock side to side. And just taking this moment to gather any data to support and validate your effort. Do you feel differently? Do you feel more energized? Do you feel more clear? Did you burn through any stagnation, any fog? Step your right foot down, extend your left leg long, reach for any point on the back of the left leg, flex and point the toes. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Circle the foot. I'm just stretching the back of the leg here. Maybe cycle out that leg a little bit. Circle the hip one direction and then the other. Switching sides, reach the right leg up. Hold the back of that right leg, point and flex the toes. Stretch out the calves. They worked for you today. Circle the foot one direction and the other. And then cycle that leg forward and back. And just creating some space in the hips. Switch directions. And then from here, hugging the knees into chest, maybe taking the feet out wide for happy baby. So knees bend out to the sides. Use your hands to pull the soles of the feet down beside you, aiming the tops of the thighs to the outer ribs, gently rocking, massaging the low back. And then releasing the legs, roll onto your belly here, come into Sphinx Pose. This is one of my favorites for the luteal phase, just a very gentle back bend. So elbows are under the shoulders. Energetically drag your hands back toward your hips to slide the heart through the upper arms. Circle the neck, the head, let it be heavy. So can you really release the weight of the head towards the earth? Feel that stretch in the neck. And then slowly pressing up to a tabletop. A few breaths of cat and cow here. Inhale, soften the belly, gaze up, shine the sitting bones. Exhale, round the spine, draw the belly in, press through the hands to create space in the back of the heart. Twice more, inhale and exhale. Last one, big inhale and exhale. We'll transition to a seated position here. One final twist just to rinse out the spine. Take your right hand to your left knee. Keep the spine lifting up, tall twist. Gaze over your left shoulder. Draw the belly in and up. Come through center, reach up, switch sides. Left hand to right knee. Gaze over right shoulder. Coming back through center in your own way. Take as much time as you need for a proper cool down here if you have the space to give your body a bit more of a stretch. I've also linked a quick cool down in the description of this video if you want to move with me just a little bit more. But if this is where we part, thank you so much for showing up during this sometimes tricky part in the cycle, for letting yourself sweat, letting yourself breathe and be moved.